Hello, and welcome to any tournament. This is going to be our second qualifier. The winner of this is going to go on to play the Allura Launchers on the main Spyrothon event on August 20th and August 21st. We have two teams coming your way today. It's going to be the game you just lost versus Mommy Misato gang. So today we're going to be doing the games in the normal order as of last time. So that's going to be Spyro 1 any percent into Spyro 2 14 Talisman into Spyro 3 any percent. Oh, I'm sorry. Spyro 1 Vortex into Spyro 2 14 Talisman into Spyro 3 any percent. So that'll be great. There's a potential for 3 games today, depending on how well our competitors play. And I'm super excited to see this race and see how this goes down today. I would like to remind everyone that signups are still open for the Spyrothon 8 marathon that we are having next month. Currently, we're a little low on submissions for the original games. So if that's something that interests you, running any categories from that game, or any of the 3 original games, feel free to send in a submission. And yeah, we would love to have many diverse people from our community on, so be sure to check that out. That's going to be it for me for now. I'm going to pass it on over to Glued and Thrasher, who are going to be your commentators for tonight. And let's get tonight's qualifier started.
All right, hey, thanks so much, Tooper. Yeah, we got a pretty good lineup here for you. So let's see here. Anything we need to go over? We're just gonna go through Vortex, 14 Tally, 3 Any, and yeah. Composer, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Nuke, are you ready to go?
Possibly.
Alrighty, on go. 3, 2, 1, go!
Hey, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. Alrighty. So, off they go. We're starting off with Vortex here. So, Spyro 1. You don't necessarily have to do the same sort of progression stuff that you need to do for 14 Tally or 3 Any. Pretty much, we have a cheat code that lets us access every single level in the game. So we don't have to worry about collecting gems, don't have to worry about collecting dragons or eggs. Just get to the end of every level and we're fine. So we got both our runners going into Stone Hill right now. Very quick, simple, and easy level. So we've got Composer up at the front there. And then we've got Nuke following shortly behind. I think we got a pretty good matchup here, Glued. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to point out that Composer is P2 on the leaderboard and was a one-time world record holder from approximately February to May of this year. That's not a slight against Nuke, who is an apocalyptically talented Vortex runner in his own right. This is somebody who started his first run at the end of May last year and was top 10 by August, 2 months later. Tremendous talent.
Very expert choice of words there. So, yeah, both of them got very good consistency. Composer's definitely been able to hack apart this game and just analyze it the way I haven't seen anyone else really be able to do so. But Nuke's also got pretty ironclad consistency. I've heard that he's been putting down several incredibly close to PB paces in the lead up to this.
Yeah, and I think it's going to sorry to interrupt. We're going to have to watch and see if he might throw down a PB tonight. Honestly.
Yeah, could happen. We got a little bit of a moment here with Dog Proxy, not necessarily being very hospitable towards Nuke here, but then again, that's kind of what happens to a lot of us in Vortex. It's just part of the game.
That's what we call a Vortex moment.
That is what we call a Vortex moment. So we've got Composer on the other hand going into Dark Hollow, another kind of maybe not quite a break level, but definitely, you know, a neat little lead into the rest of Artisans. And we've got Nuke out of Toasty. Neato. Alrighty. So Nuke and Composer saying hi to each other as one goes to the balloonist. So what kind of what do you think we might be looking at later on here in the run? Do you figure there's going to be a few places where Nuke's going to have some chance to catch up?
Oh yeah. Without getting into specifics, never ever count out Nuke. He is he's a tremendous player, and he could absolutely bring himself into contention, even if he is a little bit behind at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely got the skills for this. He's put in quite a bit of grinding on this, and again, very fierce competitor whenever you're going against him. He's Nova, the current world record holder, once or twice, I believe.
Composer having a moment with the Biscuit Blast.
Yep.
To buy a few seconds for Nuke.
Yep. So, okay, so both of them start off with Beastmakers. So the beauty of Vortex is you are very open-ended on what homeworlds you want to go through. Just so long as you get to the ending Vortex in every single level. There's a few kind of caveats that you gotta have in mind. So obviously the first level is always going to be Artisans, because why would you not start with the one that you start in? The final one has to be Nasty's World, although if you miss menu and go into Nasty's World, there's nothing saying you can't go through North Cove and Twilight before going back for the other levels. It just wastes a lot of time. But yeah, for the most part, you're pretty open-ended on where you're able to go. Both of these runners putting up a pretty good fight here. Both of them managed to get Terry boost.
Yeah, I'll point out that Nuke attempted Biscuit Blast, but didn't quite get it high enough.
Yep. That is a bit of a touchy trick.
A little bit of Vortex lore for you, actually, if I may. Nuke was one of the first people to land the fast setup for that trick, which is now known as Bisquick.
Absolutely. Yeah, that strat came in. Goodness, I want to say last June. I want to say.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah. All right. Very quick and easy bog, and we're doing the charging thing in treetops, and Composer gets it. Nuke and Composer saying hi and bye at the treetops entrance. Alrighty. So Composer's heading into Metalhead. It'd be interesting to see what strats he goes for here, because there's a bunch of different ways you can tackle this particular level. Is he going to go for bowling? Is he going to go for squap? Is he going to go old school and go for Metalhead wall glide?
Looks like he's going for the wall glide.
He's going for the wall glide. Very
Old school.
interesting. Yeah, he put in a lot of practice on wall glide specifically before bowling became the meta. And
he makes no mistake on it.
Absolutely.
1, 2, 3, and out.
And he's out of there. Very nicely done. All right, let's see what Nuke's answer is.
And Nuke's gonna go for the same.
Also going for it. Very, very nice. I will say this is a pretty difficult wall glide. It's not one of those things that you can just necessarily just pick up immediately first off. As you can see, Nuke didn't quite get it the first time. He's going for a second try. Yeah, unfortunately, that wall, you need to have the right setup for it.
That is a very precise wall glide. He's going to lose a lot of time on that.
Yep. Dang. I will give him props. He's very persistent on this, and I'm definitely rooting for him on this attempt too. Oh, and we've got
And
it.
he's got it.
Well, ooh, does he have enough height though? Is what I'm worried about.
Oh,
here.
no.
Oh! Good heavens. Jacob, yes, they are racing. This is the first leg of the relay. This is Vortex. We're going to have 14 Tally and 3 Any a little bit later. Composer doing pretty good on that haunted turnaround and just nails everything. Wonderfully done. Now, folks, don't be fooled. Even if there is a little bit of discrepancy between both of our Vortex runners, there's still plenty of run to go. There's plenty of time save even in this run alone, but even with that, we've still got 2 more runs to go necessarily to see exactly where we'll be at the very end.
Now watch here, Composer is going to go for a very difficult trick called Passage Boost.
Right?
And, is he going to get it? Yes, he's going to land it first try.
Yep, you bonk into the arrowhead at the right time and at the right angle, and it sends you right up. Very nicely done. Okay. So we've got Nuke heading to Haunted Towers. We've got Composer heading to Lofty Castle. It looks like they definitely want to get the super trick heavy homeworlds out of the way first. Not to say that Magic Crafters and Peacekeepers don't have gnarly tricks of their own, but it's particularly dense in these 2 homeworlds alone.
You're right there, Thrash.
Thank you, Martin Brundle. All right, and ooh, Wiz Proxy kind of giving Nuke a little bit of sass here. Oh, and that turkey baiter on Composer's end didn't quite work out, but thankfully we just got to free the fairies and we're golden. This isn't one of those you have to get it or you have to reset kind of dealios.
But it does lose you about 10 seconds.
It does lose you a good chunk of time, that's correct.
All right, Nuke is just going to go for the standard exit here out of Haunted. And he gets potato mashed. Oh, that is so unfortunate.
And oh, Nuke's just gonna go for the fairy. Totally understandable. Wiz Proxy's a little temperamental sometimes.
It does take names.
Yep. Looking at a very nice Jacques from Composer here. We have another look at the supercharge, the normal route for Haunted. Very nice platforming from Composer there. Those boxes are deceptively, like, it looks like you got just enough room to have a pretty clean margin of error, but those get a little bit dicey.
Oh, those boxes have caused a lot of heartbreak. Two down, 4 to go for Composer. And Composer is going into Alpine. Is he going to go for Fish Ladder?
Yeah, he's the first one to get that RTA.
That's right, the first person to get it RTA.
Yep, and he's put in quite a bit of practice.
Here we go.
He's tutored plenty of people. Oh, here we go.
Beautiful.
We're up
No
the
mistake.
wall. We're up the wall. Wonderful. Textbook. absolutely expertly done. Yeah, when he was going for his world record grind, if I'm not mistaken, he used to route Magic Crafter's Throw Artisan specifically because of how difficult that trick is. But with enough practice, plenty of... He's got a good handle on that one. Let's see here. Nuke displaying some excellent platforming in the Lofty Castle.
Gonna go for Turkey.
Gonna go for Turkey. Oh. And it looks like he's got it.
No mistake.
Wonderful. Alright, so down the supercharge we go. Very nice launch into Whiz Peak.
That's right.
So let's see here. So at this point in the run, what would you say would be... What do you think we'll be seeing later when it comes to the other categories?
Ooh, I'm expecting a good fight between Slash and Kamek. You know, I'm a little bit less versed in 14 Tally. But, yeah, I'm expecting the race to the margins to narrow quite a bit when we get to Spark 2.
Definitely.
You know, I know I've seen enough of Slash and Kamek to know it's gonna be pretty even.
Definitely. Both of them are really good at this category, and Slash did a pretty good job representing the category at last year's Spirathon as well.
That's right, they did.
Kamek as well. Got some very good runners in this relay here. Okay. Nuke is out of Dreavers. Very neat and clean blowhard boost out of Composer. Okay. All right, so we're introducing the RNG element of this particular run. Good old Tuco. You want to tell us about Tuco there, Glued?
That's right. Tuco in this category allows you to warp from World 3 into World 2. You've got two options, Dry Canyon and Clifftown with 20% each for a grand total of 40% at the menu. And he doesn't get it the first try, doesn't get it the second try, but he's going to keep going. And Tuco is known as a run killer. You know, many good paces have gone to the balloonist, to the crafty balloonist, and it's not going very well for Composer. We're
up to 4 at this point, aren't we?
5. Here we go. Fifth try.
Try dry. Yeah.
It's out of there. It's gonna buy a few seconds for Nuke. Although the gulf at this point is quite significant.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see what Composer goes for. Is he gonna go left? Oh, he's gonna go for MDS. For those of you that don't know what MDS stands for, ask your parents.
And he gets the first half.
Wonderful. All right, is he gonna get the roll though?
He is not.
Nuts. Would have been. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that he went for it, still amazing. He got the first half, which, as I understand it, that's the hardest part of this. Hardest part of that trick.
And if I may interject for a moment, just somebody asked in the chat what the record is for Tuco attempts. And it is indeed 23 by Waffle Wizard. Well over 1 in 16,000. The previous record was 19 attempts, which was a 1 in 16,410 chance.
Yep. Alrighty, we're going into Clifftown, where I reckon we're probably going to see a strat that was discovered by Composer and Take 5 one night when they just decided, hey, let's just find a strat somewhere. And they found it by the end of the morning. So, let's see here. Is he going to go for Superman? Absolutely, he's going to go for Superman.
And he nails it. Absolutely beautiful.
Almost like he invented it himself.
Now, somebody's asking what the odds of Tuco giving a good spot are, and it is a grand total of 40%.
It is, yeah, you have 2 positive outcomes to 3 negative. So, like Lude said, you want Dry Canyon or Cliff Town to put you directly into Peacekeepers into one of the levels, so you don't have to load into Peacekeepers, run to the level, load into the level, just shaves off a bunch of time. So we've got Dr. Shemp here for Composer. We'll see what's happening here.
I should point out that Nuke just attempted his esoteric Wizard Peak exit, which he calls the Nuke launch. Almost worked, and full props to him for trying it.
Absolutely. He'd be remiss if he didn't, showcase his patented trick off at Spirathon. Which, honestly, amazing. It's an amazing trick. A lot of swag points there.
Of course, it is now his turn to face the balloonist.
Yep. Composer going for Wall Glide. Nicely done. You want just aggressive enough of an angle to get yourself lifted, but not so aggressive that it just flops you. We got a first try dry for Nuke. Wonderfully done. Right. So, looks like Composer is off to Nasty's world. I reckon Slash is probably going to be getting ready to take off in probably about 3 minutes here.
And I will say this has been a very technically sound run from Composer. Very, very technically sound.
Absolutely. Exactly what we've come to expect from someone who's currently second, a former world record holder, and just someone that's been going very hard into looking for tricks, looking for all sorts of ways to, get better setups for, the way Spyro moves and everything, and, how everything works, and, teaching people visual cues for everything.
And it was only about a year ago that he kind of burst onto the scene as this sort of anonymous personality. But little did we know that he was all along he was a high-level Spyro 2 any percent runner, and the lessons he learned in that category translated very well to Vortex as he saw himself scream up the leaderboard.
Absolutely. One thing that I've definitely noticed when it comes to a lot of the high-level runners when they start out, a lot of them tend to go for literally every trick immediately first off, and their initial times are very slow because they're very adamant to get every trick, but once they start getting traction, they shoot down like nobody's business.
And look at that harbor wall glide from Composer. Absolutely perfect.
Absolutely wonderful. Over on Nuke's end, we're trying our hand at Shemp as Composer goes into Nasty Nork.
And he gets it.
Nicely done, Nuke.
That is a frame perfect trick, for those of you not in the know.
Exactly frame perfect. You have to be jumping at the right time. Oh, no Fast Thief for Composer. Very interesting. That's going to lose a little bit of time. But otherwise, we're going to be chasing the Nork that skips leg day. For a quick little jaunt here. We're going to pass him.
And you'll notice Composer is staying in front of Nasty, like right in front of Nasty, and that's to get the maximum amount of speed from him.
Absolutely.
He gets a little push.
And a little flame there. Alrighty, we're going to be starting Slash off here in just a few seconds. As we've got Nuke going into Nasty's world.
That's going to be a very tidy finish from Composer there.
Well done, GG Composer. And off Slash goes. Meanwhile, in the world of Avalar. All right. So for 14 tally, things are going to be tackled maybe a little bit differently. We don't have a cheat code necessarily to rely on to get to all the levels, but depending on how good you are with your tricks and proxies, the bare minimum you need is 800 gems. Naturally, you're going to need all the talismans because, hello, 14 tally, but yeah, no need to collect orbs, just small handful of gems. At the very beginning stages, if you there's a little bit of risk and reward here. So, if you collect 500 gems in the opening levels and buy swim, that's going to save you a lot of headache for the rest of the run. Especially in the later levels, Sunny Beach and Aquaria Towers, which largely are going to require swim if you're not super practice on the required proxies and boosts. Very nice supercharge out of Nuke here on Twilight Harbor. I will say, it is a little tricky going between not only different levels, but different categories.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah. I appreciate it, and it's been a great commentary for the both of us so far, I feels.
You're right there, Thrash.
Yep. All right. So what's Nuke gonna...
No mistake on the Fast Thieves. Beautiful.
Absolutely no mistake. For those that don't know, on that second thief, what we're doing is we're tricking the thief into thinking we're going the other way so he comes towards us. And if you get your angle right and your flame right, he's yours, my friend. Very nice little pacing of Nasty there for Nuke. Slash makes it out of Idle Springs. All right.
And the Molly Misato gang is moving on to 14 tally. GG Nuke.
GG's Nuke. All right. So, Kamek's going to take off like a shot. See if they can't make up some ground. Now, it's interesting to see, because I feel like both of these runners might be going for separate strats. They might not be going for separate strats. From the look of Slash's gem count, I think they might be going for a swimless route, which is going to be quite a bit of time save, but very high risk. Because there's a couple.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught out in Sunny Beach attempting turtle proxy because you will literally have no choice but to attempt it over and over again until you get it.
And the same goes for Aquaria Towers as well. You need to get very good with your sheep proxies, or you're not getting out of there. Yep, definitely Slash is going for swimless.
Good luck to them. Godspeed.
Yep, absolutely. Oh. Went for the frog, didn't quite make it. Sproter's right up. Minimal time loss. All right, so for this run, where do you figure we're going to see a little bit of challenge here for Kamek and Slash?
Well, like I mentioned, it's going to come down to turtle proxy. You know, we could very well see Slash getting stuck there, buying a huge opportunity there for Kamek. We'll see.
That is true. Those two levels are very reset happy for high level 14 tally runners.
And that is coming up. That is the next level.
Absolutely. But that said, I wouldn't necessarily count out the Autumn Plains levels because there's a lot of very tricky stuff happening there as well.
Absolutely.
Slash very effortlessly getting through Hurricos.
All right, here we go. Slash is going into Sunny Beach.
This trick caught them out a little bit last time. But who knows? Might be first try this time. It cannot be understated that this is a very, very precise trick. Yep. The problem is, it's very easy to just kind of get, like, one that's not necessarily high enough. And second try! Very well done on Slash's part.
That great turtle proxy by the one they call the Special Sauce Master.
Yep. Available in stores near you. Slash Arbiter's Secret Sauce. Goes well at barbecues.
So with that early hurdle conquered, it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge for Kamek to come back. We'll see what they can do.
That's true, but we're still very early into this run and this relay. Anything can happen. Right, the second major hurdle in Summer Forest. Neat first sheep. Good old double jump onto the second one, and that's all right. They gotta try that over again. The very least, they can reset the fodder by going just far enough, and then double jumping back into that area, and the sheep will just respawn. Ah, nuts. Doorway can be a little temperamental there. As we got Kamek going into Sunny Beach, attempting that first hurdle.
Still no go for Slash.
These tricks require quite a lot of focus and quite a lot of practice. And with both of our runners going for a swimless route, it's wonderful what's on display here, to be fair.
I know I couldn't do any of this.
Definitely. Vortex does have its fair share of gnarly tricks, but there's amazing stuff that's happening in both 14 tally and 3. Oh, that was so close. So close for Slash.
Connick's out of Sunny Beach, and they might be pulling back time difference here. Slash can't get out of Aquaria Towers.
That's true, but they're definitely pulling out as many stops as they can to try and get out of there. As we've said, Slash has literally no choice but to do this. Normally you can just hit the switches and swim through, but you can't do that if you don't got swim. Now we've got Kamek giving that a try. That second sheep definitely not giving Slash any favors whatsoever, and also giving Kamek a little bit of sass as well.
It is now a dead heat. First to get that sheep takes the lead.
Yep. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful proxy right then and there.
Slash is going to keep the lead for the game. You just lost.
Very nicely done. And Kamek not too far behind.
That's right. This is going to be, like I said, Kamek has been able to pull it back.
Absolutely. I'm very impressed with our runners so far. They've put on quite a good show. And luckily, we've got plenty more where that came from.
No, this is not over yet.
This is still the first race, and this is still the still very early into this run.
Yeah, we could be seeing as many as 2 more of these.
Well done.
Yep.
Okay, Spyro, jump through that hole in the
Both of them heading into Crush's dungeon. It'll be interesting to see exactly which strat specifically they both go for. Because I've seen many different people tackle this boss in different ways. Okay. A little bit more standard. Slash is going for getting hit by the first projectile that Crush throws out, which interrupts the attack cycle and leaves him open to get hit. And it looks like Kamek's doing the same. I wonder if a lot of these runners met up with each other and went, okay, I'm going to go for these strats. You want to go for these too, and just see who's on top on both of them.
And, you know, given the camaraderie of the community, I would not be surprised about that whatsoever.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So, Slash makes short work of Crush.
Kamek doing the same.
Absolutely. Very nicely done. Ronaldo is right. Swimless will have a revenge round at the end. Because you have 2 choices for getting into the final boss. You can either obtain Swim by unlocking all the abilities in the theater, or you can Spurter and Ripto, as we've seen attempted and performed last week. We'll cover that when we get there. Oh, Slash not quite getting the glide they need out of that Crystal Glacier glide. And Kamek kind of doing the same. I'd say this is probably Spyro 2's equivalent to Alpine Glide, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And I don't know if you noticed, but Kamek has just taken a slight lead.
Absolutely. We changed hands here. Out of here,
right,
quick and easy.
The game has seen their sizable advantage reduced to atoms.
That may be true, but I wouldn't count them out just yet. There's a lot of push and pull in these races. And both of these runners have been putting in quite a lot of good practice in this category in the lead up to this.
It looks like Kamek's going to get out of there first.
Yep. But it doesn't look like Slash is too far behind either. Nicely done to both of them.
That's right, Ronaldo. We do have a race on our hands.
Alrighty. So, as I've said, no matter how good you are at proxies or boosts or whatever, you need a bare minimum of 800 gems, and 400 of those goes to unlocking Zephyr, and the other 400 are going to go to unlocking Shady Oasis. Now, the way you route these can vary. So as you can see, Kamek's going directly into Zephyr, but Slash is opting to go directly into Skilos Badlands. So, like I said, there's a couple of different ways you can route this. At the very end, if you haven't gotten to Zephyr, but you've collected every talisman up to that point, if you talk to Alora, she will transport you immediately back to Zephyr, and then once you get that last talisman, you'll get transported right back to where the boss is. As Slash makes very clean and quick work of Skilos Badlands, and a very impressive balloon proxy from Kamek on Zephyr. Okay, got Slash going into Breeze Harbor. Nice charging jump onto the wing. Are we going to go for mastless? Nope. Honestly, totally understandable. Saves like maybe a second.
And they had no trouble with the trolley. Sorry,
Absolutely
I had to.
Zero trouble with that trolley. Wouldn't it be quite the power move, though, in the middle of a 14 tally run, just going, hey, I'm just going to do the trolley minigame really quick here.
That would be a Chad move.
That would be a very Giga Chad move, almost like doing Tuco skip in Vortex. All right, good ground to portal from Slash. Good old climbless. Very nicely done. Oh, no! All right, well, nothing we can't do a second time. Happens to the best of us. Happened a couple times last week. Up we go. All right, and we are heading into Scorch for Slash. Oop. Yeah, we're having maybe a little bit of trouble getting up on that mast, but second try, we save it.
Thanks for...
Very nice, quick and easy Scorch here. Just maybe a little bit of a tricky double jump there, but otherwise, Slash makes it look easy. I agree, Gonaldo. It can get a little bit confusing, but at the very end, it's pretty much just kind of one way. And it's not really that much of a variation in the route at this point. Okay. Be interesting to see where interesting to see what Slash does here in Fracture Hills.
Are they going to go for Satyrless? Oh, they're not.
Nope. Very, very understandable. Satyrless is... Goodness, I've witnessed it several times, and I'm still trying to get my head around exactly how that works. Best I can probably describe it is you clip through the little stone prison that the castle's in, and you're trying to adjust the camera so... How would you describe it, Glued?
Pain.
Definitely a good descriptor for it. You're able to clip into the castle, but if your camera work isn't exactly good, you won't be able to get the talisman from the fawn that's in there.
I'll point out that during last week's qualifiers, Mouse was caught out by that trick.
Absolutely, it is. It's definitely a run killer for high level 14 tally. But the fact that Mouse went for it at all was nothing short of amazing.
It was audacious, and I respect him for doing it.
Absolutely. Kamek also going the normal route. Everyone bask in the glory of the almighty bagpipes. Okay. So there's a little door here that requires 8 orbs to get in, but Slash is going to go, yeah, that's nice, cool. I'm just going to go through here, alright? And onwards to Magma Cone we go. Now remember, even though it looks like Slash is ahead, they still have Zephyr to go through at the very end.
It's great.
Getting awfully close to having the 800 gems that they're going to need for both Shady Oasis and Zephyr.
Now they...
Now it looks like the game is beginning to pull ahead a bit, but it is still early going. It is anybody's race at this point.
Flash makes that part look really easy, but that's out of necessity how they swoop right in with this flying power-up. If you remember, they didn't buy Climb, and you need quite a big chunk of change for Climb, as, you know, you can see by them getting into Scorch without having to do that. It just take a little bit of retries to get back up there, but otherwise we got simple and clean, just really fast up on that volcano.
And they swoosed right out of there.
Yep. Okay. On we go to Shady Oasis. Let's see how Kamek handles Molten Crater. And our answer is, like an expert. Very nice double jump work.
No mistake for Kamek. That was tidy.
Thanks for...
Wonderfully done. Okay. Slash still needs a small handful of gems by the time they get to the end of this level, but shouldn't be too hard to snag 18-ish gems. Done. All right, this is Kamek's last level for this homeworld before we tackle Gulp.
I thought I'd never find a sucker. I mean, you're a shrewd customer, Spyro.
And talisman get for Slash. Very nicely done. We'll see how Slash tackles Zephyr. See if they don't do anything else fancy than what we saw from Kamek a handful of minutes ago. So, we've got the 400 gems. We're talking to Allura. Talking to Allura twice. Puts us in front of Moneybags. And into Zephyr we go. It is interesting seeing two different routes for these kinds of runs, because granted, it might be a little confusing in the moment for the viewers, but it does showcase what kind of different strats you can utilize for each of these runs.
And we're gonna see if Kamek can pull back the difference here.
Thanks for help.
Yep. Okay, we're progressing through. Give a shot at balloon. Very beautiful. Very nicely done from Slash. All right, so both of them are
Well done.
pretty much back to being neck and neck-ish. All right, so we have Spyro 2's RNG for this run. So, for the first 3 hits, the pterodactyls are going to help you fight Gulp by dropping eggs, and each of these eggs are going to have weapons. For the first hit, they're going to give you nothing but barrels. For the second, they're going to give you nothing but bombs, which you have to light and hope they're under Gulp when they go off. And then for the third hit, they'll give you rockets. Some of the really good and also lucky players, they get a few weapons close to each other. Like, for example, if you got a barrel and you've got a rocket, you can pick up the rocket in your mouth and then ram the barrel into Gulp, and you get 2 hits for the price of 1. A lot of this fight is getting lucky enough to have 2 good compatible weapons right next to each other, and, you know, having the aim to be able to hit Gulp twice. As Kamek misses getting that second rocket. I'd say out of all 3 categories, this RNG element is probably the one that's most malicious. Because there's also quite the skill and RNG element to it as well. With Spyro 3, as you'll see later, there's 2 weapons that you're going to get in your fight with Scorch. But otherwise, it's just about 1 weapon and done. Good double hit from Kamek there. I remember as a kid having quite a lot of trouble with this fight. Then we've got Gulp dead on Kamek's side, giving Mommy Misato gang the lead. Slash is gonna be not too far behind.
There we go.
Nicely done. Okay. Looks like Cam's gonna try and get past where you need head bash with good, lovely penguin proxy. We're heading right into Dragon Shores, or not. Oh my. Okay.
Suddenly it's a dead heat again. Manage nobody.
All right. Slash is opting to go the regular double jump route. Makes it in. We're gonna get to the top of the staircase there. So both of these runners are heading into Dragon Shores. Why are they heading into Dragon Shores? So, there are 2 things in Dragon Shores that gonna come into quite a bit of use here at the very end of this here run. So, since both of them don't have swim, what they're looking to do after they snag the permanent fireball, of course, which is going to trivialize the first and second phases of Ripto, is they're also going to try and get into that little theater that you get for getting all 10 coins from the little mini games in Dragon Shores. But we're not playing any of those mini games. We're just sneaking in through the back. As we're both of these runners are having a little bit of trouble getting up on that wall there.
That's what we call a little bit of a Spyro 2 moment.
Yep. A little bit of a Spyro 2 moment. Okay, so we've got Kamek. We get the fireball. We got the permanent fireball. All right. Now there's a handful of different ways they can get into that theater there. The reason we want to get into that theater is we want to get into that theater, play the final cutscene, and that tricks the game into thinking that the game's been beaten. And so when that happens, Moneybags pretty much disappears and you get access to pretty much everything Moneybags would have sold you, and that includes the abilities. So getting a swim in air in Winter Tundra is going to permit you to get into Ripto much easier than going straight for Spurter and Ripto, at the cost of a little bit of time. Okay, Slash is Sprotering. Up we go. Wonderfully done.
Looks like they're going to get it first, so advantage the game.
You just lost. And Kamek's not too far behind. I'ma say it. I think our 3 any runs definitely where it's gonna come down to.
Can't wait.
We're gonna have a dead heat starting with Ghostly Trickster and White Paws. And a little bird told me, tomorrow is GT's birthday, so I guarantee they're gonna want a win here as a neat little birthday gift.
Oh, they're going to be fired up, Bob.
Absolutely. You're right there, Glued. Nice swim in air for Slash. Off we go to fight the final boss. Not too far behind is Kamek 7.
And to this point, it's been a great Spyro 2 race. Let me just say it now.
Absolutely. We've seen wonderful things from not only our Vortex runners, but our 14 tally runners as well. Right now we're seeing the Fireball come into very good utility here. As I said, it trivializes the first 2 phases of Ripto. And now we get into the absolute final stage of this run. After this, it's going to be GG for the 14 tally runners, and then off the 3 any runners go. We'll finish close to each other. This will still take a minute, so bear with you. So we've got good old Jonathan Spyrothon working very hard behind the scenes to try and get these transitions lined up and ready to go. GG for Slash.
GG for Kamek.
And GG for Kamek. Goodness, golly me, we got Ghostly Trickster and White Paws taking off for 3 any.
What was the margin there? 2 seconds? 3?
Very close to that, I reckon. All right. All right. So, I will say, I did hear from Dylan that White Paws said he was maybe a little bit rusty on 3 any, but I've definitely seen from many a runner that people that claim that they're rusty, they tend to bounce back very quickly, if not immediately. So, very nice transition into both screens there from John Spyrothon.
Thanks, John
Thank you for that.
Spyrothon.
Both went for Sunnyville proxy. Looks like White Paw's got the backup there. Ooh, something might be a little rocky with GT's recording. GT's stream there. Lots of frames getting dropped there. They're opting to go the normal route through Sunnyville. That's gonna hand the lead over to Mommy Misato gang. GT promised to avenge the children of Wannel at Spirathon, so they're Mouse's favorite for this. Well, we'll see how this goes. Both of these folks are very accomplished runners. Oh, and it looks like GT's going for a little bit of waterfall there. After we saw a very nice whirlwind bypass from White Paws.
I mean, it's early goings, but White Paws doesn't look very rusty to me.
Very true. As I said, some people take a little bit to get the rust off, and then some of them, it's like there wasn't even any rust at all.
It's alright, fans of the Mommy Misato gang crossing their fingers right now.
Absolutely. Okay.
And I will say, sorry,
Yeah.
White Paws is actually filling in for Waffle Lizard 1, who had to drop out.
Absolutely. It's a shame we couldn't get Waffle, but Waffle's moving up in the world, and we got a really good runner to take his place. So we're just in for a good show regardless. Okay, let's see if we get the Taco Bell out of White Paws. We get the Taco Bell. Oh, no, the Pizza Hut. Sorry. The combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell, as we call it in a few 3 Runners streams.
You mean all of them?
Yeah, all of them. Oh, goodness me, a proxy bonk from White Paws. Good heavens. I always hate to see those.
Yeah, it's a shame. You know, that's a very visually impressive trick.
It is a very visually impressive trick, but still leaves me kind of thinking, okay, come on.
Yeah.
But we make it to the end of Molten Crater. We're not too bad. We're not too shabby. I'll be honest, I'm not very familiar with White Paws and their speedrun activities, but they're definitely putting on quite the lovely show here. Definitely quite the show of skill.
You know, as a fill-in, they're doing a fantastic job.
Absolutely. But we get a pretty neat Taco Bell out of GT there.
Gotta love Taco Bell on your birthday.
Absolutely. For those confused, we do have a little bit of a fast food kind of theme in naming of 3NA type tricks. For proxy, we commonly kind of call Taco Bell because of the meme or the song of we're at the Pizza Hut, we're at the Taco Bell, we're at the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. Okay. Oh, looks like GT's stream might be a little frozen there.
That's troublesome. Let's hope we get them back online as soon as possible.
Absolutely. It is pretty tricky troubleshooting stuff on the fly when you're mid-run, mid-race, mid-relay, and, watching with a little bit of an audience of people. But we've got our folks, we got John Sparathon, we got GT troubleshooting those the best they can. I can see there. We've got nice little stroll through Sheila's Alp on White Paw's side. Still trying to get things back up and running on GT's side. Very nice, simple, and clean Sheila for White Paws.
And while I'm not as well versed in this category as you, White Paw's execution to this point has been incredibly. It's been solid. It's been tidy. He's doing a great job.
It is very high level. He's doing a wonderful job.
Let's head on over.
All right. So we made it through, goodness, I almost said Summer Forest. Sunrise Spring on White Paw's side. We're going to be fighting Buzz here. So it's a little bit of a tricky boss casually, but once you figure out the little trick to him, this essentially becomes an improvised break for our runners. So essentially all you got to do is just kind of stand on the edge there and through a little bit of camera manipulation, or even a little just standing on the edge, you can just pretty much stun lock Buzz there into being where they need to be to get knocked into the lava. Lude, what would you say you're looking forward to seeing from these runners towards as the run goes on?
I'm hoping for nothing but for GT to come back and make this a race. Oh, looks like we just got them back.
You just spoke it into existence. Very nicely done.
You're welcome.
Very good work from John Sparathon's end. We're starting to... Well, we're still kind of going a little bit PowerPoint style on GT's end, but we got plenty of idea on what kind of things are happening.
It's not over yet for backers of the game. You just lost.
Absolutely. Very good bridge swim from White Paws. Oh. Saw GT tried to go for a little interesting visual trick where if you point Spyro's head down into the side just far enough, you can have that cutscene with Buzz dying rendered upside down. Or as we call it, Australia style. Nobody actually calls it Australia style.
Any Australians in chat?
Oh, can we get... Shout out to all the Australians in chat. See if we got a TK drop here. See if we've got a Fady 180. We see if we've got a Texansis.
We got Pixie.
We got a Pixie.
And we got TK.
And we got TK.
So somebody in chat just asked if there's any incentive for the winner, and the answer is yes. The winner is going to move on to face the winner of last week's Vortaliany relay at Spyrothon 8 in August.
And while we are getting to the end of this race, we are not by any means at the end of this stream. We've still got one more to go. Oh my goodness. And GT kind of swam into the death plane there from the bridge swim.
Yeah, our roll call of Australians missed the greatest Australian of all, Waffle Wizard 1. So wherever he is, we are thinking of you.
We are thinking of our amazing Kiwi with dual citizenship in both New Zealand and Australia. Going to spooky for White Paws. Let's see what we got as far as Croxies go. Oh my goodness. We got sent to space. Very nicely done on White Paw's end. Now this is best 2 out of 3, so regardless of who wins, we've still got at the very least one more race and relay for y'all.
And honestly, with the way things have gone so far, I would not be surprised to see this go to a third and deciding game.
We're moving nice. We're moving along nicely. Good Sergeant Bird's base from GT. Very good entry into Bamboo Terrace from White Paws. Let's see if we get this boulder proxy, or boulder squeeze. Up we go.
And he does get the uppies, yeah.
Nicely done. The food theme for that one is Panda Express.
We would be.
Okay. So we've got GT going into Spooky Swamp. Let's see how their Croxy game is. Good effort, but not quite high enough. To reiterate, a lot of the techniques that you see in Spyro 2 and Spyro 3 very tricky when compared to a lot of Vortex stuff. Not to say that Vortex doesn't have a lot of tricky techniques on their own. There's just a lot of them that require, if nothing else, maybe not as difficult, but maybe a different approach. Since there's
I was led to believe that Vortex World Record was actually free. So my mind is quite blown at the moment.
It is indeed not free, actually. Regardless of who might say.
That's a shame, because I was going to go for it tomorrow.
Oops.
Well, you can go for it. I'm just saying it ain't free. Okay. Missing a nice little squeeze proxy there from, or nice little squeeze boost from White Paws and Enchanted Towers. Very nicely done. See if we got
Thank
something
goodness, yeah.
similar happening here.
Thank goodness the volume was off for that.
Absolutely. Next time we should probably have a headphone warning for that level specifically.
Honestly, yeah.
Yep. Are you firing shots there, Glued? Are you firing shots?
Oh, this cannon is loaded.
Oh my goodness. We got a permit for that. Okay. Icy Peak. So, we've got the big old double jump / glide and Crystal Glacier. We got the Alpine Ridge jump / glide. And now we've got Icy Peak glide kind of completing the trifecta. Took a couple of tries, but White Paws managed to get it. Yeah, managed to get it.
Oh, by the way,
Let's see how GT handles Enchanted Towers. Very rude getting run over. And just like that, GT instant transmissions in onto the
Bumbling, idiotic.
onto that platform there.
Can we get a volume warning on this?
my tactically.
Kaboom. Alright, we've got White Paws handling, let's say, a pretty gnarly boss when it comes to Spyro in general. But the most practiced players pretty much make short work of Spike. And it's helped by the fact that there's a difficulty kind of, there's a bit of adaptive difficulty whenever you're playing Spyro 3. It's based on how many eggs and what eggs you collect, as White Paws completely gets rid of Spike before I'm able to even explain how this works. So if you wind up grabbing a bunch of eggs, the game kind of feels like, hey, you already kind of know what you're doing. Let's turn up the challenge a little bit more. But with how few eggs that a lot of runners get when they get to this point, that actually winds up making Spike easier. He throws fewer attacks, and it's not too, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, takes less hits to even kill him, too.
Well, that's outside of my expertise, but I think you're right on that one.
Okay. We got GT going for the Icy Peak jump. Oh, and we've got White Paws going into Bentley, and GT gets it. We got White Paws going into Bentley. Not gonna lie, that one's a little tricky. Like, that portal entry in general's pretty tricky. So to get into Bentley without having to pay the 1,000 gems you need to just unlock him legitimately, you need to fly into where his portal's stored. Unfortunately, where that portal is stored is also right next to where Honey Speedway's portal is stored. So, if your trajectory's a little off, you're going to wind up going into a speedway and you're going to have to try that entry all over again.
Another go.
Bentley's also a nice little break-ish kind of level. An improvised break. Mind you, whenever I say there's a break during a speed run, it's relative compared to a lot of the other insane stuff you gotta pull in other levels.
Thanks, bro.
So we're almost done with Spike on GT's end. Nicely done. Those are indeed polygons, CFG. I may be looking at that message probably about 3 minutes late, but that's the case with commentary. Good old frozen altars here for White Paws. Let's see how they tackle it. Let's see how their mammoth game is. Nice mammoth proxy, maybe a little bit more forward than they were expecting.
No sweat off his back. He's got quite the commanding lead at this point.
Definitely. The question is, whenever you're in the run on the or whenever you're in the lead in the last leg of a relay, is how much do you want to go for the really gnarly stuff, or do you just want to make it quick and just lock down the win for your team? Very good ice wall proxy from White Paws. I know Derek, if he were watching, he'd be very proud.
Shoutouts to Derek. He's currently on a cruise ship somewhere in like the Mediterranean or something.
Yep.
Hope he's having a great time.
Mm-hmm. We stand Derek Lander. Add out back into Evening Lake. Next level is going to be Fireworks Factory, and we still got to do a little bit of an interesting entry into that one. I feel like, in general, for 3 Annie, I don't know if you've put down any attempts or anything on practice on it, but quite the big buried entry in 3 Annie is the fact that half the levels require you to have a certain amount of eggs in order to just enter into them neatly. Otherwise, you have to try and get creative and just find where the level portals are stored, and then try and get into them through that way.
It looks like
So we're going the long way through Fireworks Factory, which understandable because both Rhinoc Proxy and Firefly are very neat and precise little tricks to get.
Yeah, Firefly in particular. I mean, I'm no expert at this game, but it's a very precise jump off of a tiny little fodder that sends you flying up into the air and basically to the end of the level.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're also kind of at the mercy of where exactly it's flying to. Not too dissimilar to Rat Proxy in categories like Spyro 1 Any. All right, so we're going to go into Lost Fleet on White Paw's end. Very nice Mammoth Proxy on GT's end.
Be careful.
So we'll see how White Paws handles it. Oh, we're going to do the little boost here. Wonderfully done. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to snag Zoe over there. Right as we die, so we get Ed over here. The NPC. He's right where he needs to be. Cuts out having to run through the level and escorting him through. Alright, so this is going to be an interesting thing that White Paws is going to pull off that's not really seen at the end of every level. One, two, three, and... Nicely done. So what White Paws just did there was induce a state called Zombie. Oh, are we going for Rhinoc Proxy on GT's end? Oh, goodness me. If only that was a little bit higher. That would have been amazing. All right, so back to Zombie. So whenever you exit the level, when Spyro's literally the frame that Spyro starts dying from lack of hit points, you'll induce a state called Zombie. So that traps Spyro in whatever state that he exits the level in. So that's how White Paws was able to swim into Charmed Ridge. But the unfortunate part of that is you can't go up whirlwinds, which you're going to need if you want to go through the normal way through the level. Otherwise, you absolutely have to nail a cat proxy to get to the end of this level. And unfortunately, we're having a little bit of trouble here. Alright, so this is White Paws' last chance before... He's got 0 lives. If he doesn't get to the end of this level, or if he messes up, he's going to have to go back into Lost Fleet and induce Zombie again to enter into Charmed Ridge. So he's going to be very careful here.
Yeah, that was a bit of a challenge for White Paws. We'll see if GT can pull it back.
Yep. See GT's Zombie. Nicely done. So something that White Paws showed off, if you're a little early with your pause, you can do a little bit of pause buffering to buy yourself a couple more frames to try and get the state that you need. But White Paws is off to Spyro 3's RNG element boss. So Scorch is going to be protected by this little force field, and he can only be hit by these rockets that Bentley gives you. Now the thing is, every single one of these rockets do the same amount of damage to him. So you get a green one, it's a single homing rocket, but it's nowhere near as efficient. The red rockets, which you need, are pretty much just like a machine gun. They're unguided, but like I said, every single rocket does the same amount of damage, and you can just keep attacking Scorch with it whenever the shield is down.
And if my understanding of this is correct, the green rockets were originally supposed to do more damage, but due to an oversight, due to rush development of Spyro 3, that wasn't implemented correctly.
I would not be surprised. There's a lot of very interesting kind of elements that are present in Spyro 3, and ones that aren't present that probably should have been present. White Paw's getting very lucky with his RNG. He makes very quick work of Scorch. But yeah, we're coming up on the final stretch here, folks. So all that's standing in between White Paws and victory is Helmet Proxy to get into the Sorceress, and beating the Sorceress herself, and that's GG.
Now, it's not quite as easy as it sounds. This could be an equalizer.
Most certainly. Helmet Proxy is, definitely speaking from experience, probably one of the hardest tricks I've ever had to try and pull off in a run. And there isn't really any backup to this. Like, this is mandatory. This is probably the biggest barrier to entry in this category alone. Because without this, you're not getting into the Sorceress. At that point, you might as well have run the 100 egg. GT's making pretty short work of Scorch there. White Paw's having a little bit of trouble getting in there. I feel like this might be where things get tied up if White Paws still has a little bit more trouble by the time GT gets there. Have you tried any attempts at Helmet before, Glued?
Absolutely not.
It is very, very interesting in terms of the sort of controller button movements you gotta do. It requires very precise camera manipulation as well. And White Paws gets a very good launch. Let's see if GT can go right behind him. Doesn't quite get the full meal deal that White Paws got, but we've got a good backup there. Oh no! Okay, we missed the backup, so we gotta try all over again.
So advantage, Mommy Misato gang.
Yep. And GT kills 1136. Your friend Save the Ghost is not going to be happy about that. I forgot
Shoutouts to
exactly.
Save.
Yep, shoutouts to Save the Ghost. I don't quite recall what exactly that fodder has, what kind of effect that fodder has on getting the helmet proxy here, but it is a little easier if they're not there. And we've got both our runners and the Sorceress. White Paws has a little bit of an advantage. He's past the cannon stage. He's now onto the tank.
Half a health bar to go. Can he pull off the upset?
Less lag, higher proxy in general. There you have it, folks. Thank you, CFG. And that's
GG.
GG for White Paws and Mommy Misato gang. They take game 1.
Wow. I mean, like I've been singing his praises this whole time, but full credits to him for coming in as a replacement and getting this done for the Mommy Misato gang. Fantastic
Definitely.
job.
Absolutely. That said, GT's done a pretty good job clawing back the difference between them and White Paws as well.
They've done a great job.
Spyro, you've just defeated the sorceress, rescued the
And we will see if they can come back with that big birthday energy in game 2.
Absolutely.
plan to do next. Perhaps a nice vacation in Dragon Shores?
Fun fact, this idea would not have gotten off the ground if it were not for GT and Waffle.
You know, I still have to
I
find the
mean,
rest of the
it might have.
Plus,
Probably
Hunter's
would have
been
been a lot
disappeared
later,
yet, so I
though.
should go make sure he's not in
Here we go.
You haven't seen him, have you?
That's time.
And GG for GT.
Oh, no. If I do happen to encounter him, however,
And you know the game is going to come back. Is going to come back very hungry for game 2.
Yep, they may have lost the game, but they didn't lose our hearts.
You're right there, Thrash.
It's a funny thing, Spyro. I adjusted Avalar's portals to take me to the Dragon Worlds. but
All right,
somehow
chat,
I
let's
ended up
give it up
here.
for both our
My
teams.
coordinate tables are
Very
outdated
solid
by
run
1,000
from both
years.
teams.
That would explain why the book was so cheap.
So, now that you're done saving the world again, are you gonna visit
Alright.
me in Avalar?
Sure, Alora, but I still have to find the rest of the eggs, and, well, Hunter's disappeared again. Did you say Hunter? Well,
Very nice ending cutscenes. Very nice demo mode.
Agent 9, isn't that a
Go with break
rhino
screen if
over
you
in
want to
the
lead
bush?
us out.
Rhino!
Okay.
Let me at
Well,
him.
so that was game 1.
Eat laser, punk!
Don't know if Tuber or Phoenix want to come back into the voice channel.
I'm sure he will turn up
So we're gonna
soon.
have a 5 to 10 minute break, and we'll be back in when the runners are ready.
Now, how many times have I told you not to tease that?